Incredible stuff. And then, yeah, he was going toe to toe with Carlos Alcaraz, and there were moments where he was coming up with really quite spectacular shots that burning Alcaraz, which I don't think Alcaraz, and even by Alcaraz's own admission, he wasn't used to feeling like that. He said, I mean, I can actually got the quote here. He says, Alcaraz said if he keeps playing at this level, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see him around more often. I'm just really happy to get through. I don't want to say I was surprised, but it was the first time I was playing against him. He just beat Jarry very easily, so that's impressive. And I had to be focused on my best. I'm not used to the feelings I had on the court. He is a really powerful player, plays really strong. So I felt like I was not dominating the game. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if you're going to make Carlos Alcaraz feel like that, you've done something pretty good.
Can you change it? No. Can't change it, right? So it does you no good to dwell on it. Sometimes we dwell on maybe bad points, but sometimes we dwell on good points, right? How many times have you guys seen players go, they hit a great shot, they're like, give me applause, give me applause, give me applause. They're still thinking about the great shot that they hit, and then before they know it, before they come back, they realize, oh shoot, I just lost the last 3 points, I didn't even realize it. Right? So you cannot change what's happened already in the past. So when you play one point, whether it's good, whether it's bad, just know, hey, come back, play again, whatever point is in front of you, you make sure you give 100% focus.
Incredible stuff. And then, yeah, he was going toe to toe with Carlos Alcaraz, and there were moments where he was coming up with really quite spectacular shots that burning Alcaraz, which I don't think Alcaraz, and even by Alcaraz's own admission, he wasn't used to feeling like that. He said, I mean, I can actually got the quote here. He says, Alcaraz said if he keeps playing at this level, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see him around more often. I'm just really happy to get through. I don't want to say I was surprised, but it was the first time I was playing against him. He just beat Jarry very easily, so that's impressive. And I had to be focused on my best. I'm not used to the feelings I had on the court. He is a really powerful player, plays really strong. So I felt like I was not dominating the game. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if you're going to make Carlos Alcaraz feel like that, you've done something pretty good.
Hello and welcome to this live Tennis Asia TV live watch along for Yibing versus Daniil Medvedev in the Hangzhou Open quarterfinals. This is, of course, a tournament in Yibing, Chinese player's own hometown of Hangzhou. And he's had his injury struggles. That's been well documented, but he recently came back a few months ago and has started to get some good results here, most notably coming through against the 6th seed Adrian Mannarino, and then subsequently a great victory over Sebastian Korda from a set down. That was 4-6, 6-1, 6-4. And that sets up an intriguing tie between Wu and Daniil Medvedev, who's the number 2 seed, a player, that they faced each other before, and actually, the last time they faced each other, It was certainly quite a one-sided affair, a bit disappointing from Wu's perspective. It was 6-3, 6-2, and that was at the City Open tournament in Washington. It's quite a fast, hard court, and that was in the round of 16. The last time they played before that was also quite one-sided, but that was way back in 2022 in the third round of the US Open, and that was Wu's first third round appearance in the Slam. And yeah, 6-4, 6-2, 6-2 that was. But yeah, I mean, at the last match, obviously that was more recent in Washington, but I think that was, that was early for Wu in his comeback. And of course, he's entered this tournament in fine form. And yeah, it's, I think he's going to have a better chance against Medvedev this time. Of course, Medvedev as well himself has had his struggles, but he is now with a new coach, and he did come through his first round fairly comfortably against Bas Faredi, the American 6-2, 6-3. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. It's about to start, and Wu is yeah, certainly a player that, he's got a very exciting, aggressive game, but it's going to be difficult to play against a player with the style of Daniil Medvedev. Of course, he has a brick wall at the back of the court, and and I think he does like to kind of play a player with the style of Wu. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I think for Wu, what's going to be key is certainly going to be him being able to actually keep the errors down and try and be as aggressive as possible. He's going to hopefully try to avoid getting into the longer rallies with Daniil Medvedev, because Medvedev, you're more often than not, you're not going to come out on top in those exchanges. And I'm just worried for Wu's point of view, does he have the rally tolerance to be able to, get through this match? I mean, I definitely think the first set is going to be key for Wu Yibing. He will need to win that first set if he's going to win this match, I believe. But yeah, he's playing really well. He's got an exciting, aggressive game, incredible power from the back of the court. We saw that clip earlier when we were talking about Carlos Alcaraz. He really tested Alcaraz last year in Shanghai. But Wu Yibing is about to serve, and he hits that second serve, and we're in a bit of a rally now. Backhand to backhand exchange now between Medvedev and Wu. Backhand from Wu, forehand from Medvedev, and then forehand again from Medvedev, goes long. So yeah, the first a little bit of an extended rally there, to start off the match, and Wu comes out on top with Medvedev making the error on the forehand side. So yeah, I think so far it's showing that, that was a good period of play from Wu Yibing. And yeah, that was an unreturned serve to make it 30-love. So Wu Yibing is actually from Hangzhou. And, for him to get through that match against Korda, of course, Korda's an excellent player. And that was a serve and volley to bring it to 40-love, by the way, from Wu. Very nicely executed. So that's exactly the kind of play that if he can continue to execute plays like that, that's going to help him absolutely in this matchup. As I said, you don't want to give Medvedev a chance to work his magic from the back of the court. And, yeah, this looking like a great start for the Chinese player. Serving out wide, and then it was returned from Medvedev, and they get into a bit of a baseline exchange, backhand to backhand, but then it was a backhand error from Medvedev. So, yeah, not looking too great there from Medvedev, it must be said. But yeah, Hangzhou, this is the hometown for Wu, and he came through that match against Korda from a set down. He was very emotional afterwards. I mean, I think obviously it means a lot to him because of his struggles, but then obviously to do it at his home tournament. And yeah, the conditions, of course, absolutely suit Wu. With his aggressive game, he's definitely prefers the hard courts, and he obviously likes, I think, the quicker surfaces. So he's the first Chinese man to ever win an ATP title. He did that back in Dallas 2 years ago. So yeah, he's a history maker for China in that sense, and it's just been a bit disappointing in terms of his physical struggles. That is, he's been in and out of the game, but certainly he's now been back for a little while, and he seems to be doing okay. So yeah, this is a great moment for him, and just his motivation to actually be able to get the job done today, and his home crowd, and it means so much to him to play, probably a player like this in China. So I'm just wondering if that's going to propel him to the victory today. Medvedev, of course, he's as I said, new coach, and it's new beginnings for him. That's what he said, but will be interesting to see how he does here. So 15-love early in this first service game for Medvedev. Serve again for Medvedev, and it was a good serve. We're in a bit of an exchange now, but again, another forehand error from Medvedev to bring it to 15-0. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely a few forehand errors coming from the Medvedev racket so far early in this match. So yeah, Wu Yibing is a former US Open champion at junior level. And of course, he's had such potential, and it's just disappointing, that he's had his physical struggles. I mean, as I said last year against Carlos Alcaraz, I mean, he took Alcaraz to a first set tiebreak, and Alcaraz is quite, honest in his post-match interview, saying that he wasn't used to feeling sort of dominated like that. I mean, or at least not being able to dominate him, because Alcaraz, of course, normally is able to dominate his opponents, but he was getting a lot of heat from the Wu racket in that match. But yeah, it's Medvedev who takes that first game, for his first service game, fairly comfortably to bring it to 1-1. So quarterfinal clash here, this ATP 250 event that is going on in Hangzhou, China. This is the beginning of the Asian swing, and it's certainly going to be an interesting one because it's still a lot to play for, of course, for some of the bigger players in terms of trying to make ATP finals and get those points up before, of course, the Australian Open at the start of next season. This is a very nice rally here from Wu. He's being very aggressive. He gets to come in at the net, and he finishes off with the drive volley, and that is just incredible for him to get on top of that rally and really make Medvedev work and get him on the back foot. I am, of course, streaming here from Korea. It's a live. We've got the WTA Korea Open final on at the moment, and that's going to the wire between Iga Swiatek and Alexandrova, 4-4 in that final set. But it's Wu here, second serve. It's in. Big forehand out wide again. Comes in on the backhand, comes to the net. Oh, and he just goes into the net. But yeah, he's definitely going to try and be aggressive and shorten the points when he can. And he can do that, obviously, with being aggressive on the approach and finishing at the net. And it worked out before, not on that particular occasion. Yeah, the volley dropping into the net, but definitely a good idea. And it was, the right play, I think. Good serve out wide from Wu Yibing. And back in behind Medvedev with a backhand. So yeah, these 1 to 4 shot rallies going to be important for Wu if he's going to get the victory. And yeah, as I say, even compared to the last time they played, I think it's definitely going to make it, given Wu's form in this particular tournament. I don't think, I think that puts him in a good position to try and get a good result today. And then obviously with Medvedev, his struggles. So second serve there from Wu. But he goes with forehand into the net there, getting caught with the ball underneath him. 30-all Wu, Medvedev. So 30-all, and this is Wu to serve here. It goes big out wide, but it is out, so it will be a second serve at 30-all. Second serve is in. It is returned well by Medvedev with a backhand. Backhand to backhand exchange between the two players. Slice backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Big backhand cross court from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand cross court winner there. Well, actually, Medvedev got a racket on it, but that was a superbly executed backhand cross court backhand. And then, yeah, great shot from Wu. 40-30. You have to say he's looking sharp early in this match, and it looks like he's going to take his second service game. So Wu, yeah, just such an exciting player. Let's be honest. I mean, to have him more on the ATP Tour would be great, and that's a great serve down the middle, and it was unreturned or returned way long by Medvedev. So 2-1, and looking good for Yibing early on in this quarterfinal clash. Yeah, elsewhere we also have, as I said, the Korea Open match, and that's going on between Świątek and Alexandrova. It looks like Alexandrova has a set point there. Sorry, a break point, I should say. And if she does break, then she'll be able to serve for the match. That's going to be interesting to see how that goes. That's going on in Seoul. And yeah, so got a feeling, yeah, this could be the one. That looks like Świątek did actually take that to deuce. An exciting match it's turned into, obviously, with Alexandrova taking the first set 6-1, but Świątek coming back, taking the second set tie break, and now just on serve in a very tight match in that final set. So the crowd in Seoul getting their money's worth, but Hangzhou as well, also potentially getting their money's worth here with this quarterfinal clash. It's been a good start from the Chinese player, who has been executing well, being aggressive, being able to, finish the points early, which is probably what he needs to do against Daniil if he's going to have any chance of getting through. But it is Daniil Medvedev. Serve now. That's 15 love. A good serve there with the ace. Yeah, good serve again from Medvedev. And yeah, certainly he is a player that can take control with his serve when it's on fire. He's had his moments when it hasn't always been firing, but yeah, he's a tough player in that sense as well. So he can also go through the points very quickly. And again, that was a good serve. And it allows him to come into the net beautifully, bring it to 40 love. And yeah, ideal for Medvedev to be able to get through his service game quickly, put the pressure back on Wu, who has done well so far, but as I say, he's going to have to maintain a pretty high level. Yeah, and again, it's just a simple hold for Medvedev. Yes, so it's Wu Yibing to serve here. Serve down the tee. Medvedev was deep, and he did get on the return, but Wu is able to come forward to the net. hit the smash, and Medvedev can't get it back. It's 15-love. And you have to say, another well executed point. So certainly, yeah, with the conditions, with the Wu plays, he's going to have those opportunities to be aggressive and come into the net. And great serve down the tee there from Wu. Another big forehand cross court. Another one. Oh, but it just goes long, and that was out. So 15-all. Just long. That was just perhaps not even a centimeter long. But there we go. 15-all. And it's going to be so difficult for Wu because he really can't put a foot wrong. As I say, it's not the best matchup. You mean a guy like Medvedev who can defend so well, and you know, if you get locked into a rally and then wow, that was a big smash that went way long. If he was not in the right position there, Wu, him coming in on the serve, but yeah, the high lob just Wu didn't know what to do, and yeah, way long. But it's 15-30, but a good serve out wide from Wu Yibing. That is unreturned. 30-all. Yeah, and that was a great play again. Very aggressive play from Wu Yibing to take it to 40-30. Lovely forehand winner there. Taking it early. And game point for Wu. Yeah, another good first serve. And that aggression, that was a fantastic inside in forehand winner. Up the line by Wu Yibing. And Medvedev is behind. Yeah, 3-2 with Wu leading on serve. Yeah, and definitely it's looking much better than their last encounter in the Washington Open, City Open. That was a match where, you know, Medvedev went ahead quite quickly, and it wasn't too competitive. It definitely, you know, Wu was struggling physically, I think, in terms of, yeah. But yeah, different circumstances right now, and yeah, there's no reason why Wu shouldn't come out swinging the way he's played so far and his home crowd. Yeah, and that particular match in back in Washington where Wu played Medvedev, that was a match after, you know, Wu had come through two qualifying matches, and then he beat Monfils, and then subsequent to that, Popperin in a fairly long match. And of course, it's very hot and humid in Washington during the summer. I don't know if he was in the, you know, the best physical state to take on Medvedev, but also, yeah, he wasn't too long in his comeback since then. So yeah, he's got much more match sharpness and matches under his belt now, and certainly coming through against Mannarino and Korda, and the way he got the victory against Korda from a set down does bode well for his chances in this particular match. Elsewhere, the Seoul WTA Korea Open, still on serve, by the way. Game point for Alexandrova, about to take it to 5-all. But here we are. Medvedev to serve, down the tee. Decent serve. It is returning, lands just inside the baseline. We're in a bit of a rally now. Wow, that was a great forehand cross-court, just landing in the corner there. And Medvedev surprised with that one, and it's love 15 on the Medvedev serve. Yeah, just landing inside. Must have just caught the line. I mean, Medvedev's asked for it to be replayed. It's automatic line calling. It's not going to make any difference. Yeah, it lands. touches the back of the line. So, yeah, as I say, no challenges here. It's all electronic line calling. There's not really much point in having a look at the call again, but second serve it will be for Medvedev. And it is returned okay, but then it eventually backhand error into the tram lines by Wu. His cross-court backhand. So, 15-all. And of course, this is the part of the season with the ATP Tour where the tournament is played across the weekend. So, you know, starting midweek and finishing midweek. So this, of course, is a Sunday, but the quarterfinal clash is being played on this Sunday. And then we'll have the semis on Monday and then the final on Tuesday evening. So, of course, it's what that does is it allows the Shanghai Masters to to start midweek, because that's going to be on for about a week and a half. And that was a great point there, by the way, from Yibing, eventually finishing with his forehand cross court, a winner. And yeah, this just got to keep very aggressive and stretch Medvedev when he can, and he did that beautifully. It's always not easy, because you're prone to, perhaps when you're going for that aggression, to make errors, and certainly Medvedev is the kind of player that would get to balls and make you frustrated and make errors. But Wu has been executing well so far. Oh, his backhand just going long though, and that's 40-30. Yeah, that was eventually another forehand error there up the line from from Medvedev to give Wu the point and bring it to deuce. So we've seen a few forehand errors there in this match from Medvedev. Serve from Medvedev. It is out. It will be a second serve at deuce here in this match. Second serve's in. It was returned pretty well by Wu Yibing. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Slice backhand from Wu. Forehand cross court from Medvedev. Eventually backhand error long from Wu. So Medvedev gets the advantage. And you have to say, it's looking like a pretty close contest, this. Tight one, and not clear which way this first set's going to go. But as I said before, I do think it's going to be crucial for Wu, if he's going to win this match, that he take the first set. Definitely, I think it is a match that Wu can win. It's an ATP 250 match. As I mentioned, of course, you know, Medvedev's had his struggles. He's just come in with a new coach here. And he's still going to be trying to work things out, try and use some new things. And second serve now from Medvedev. Oh, it's going to be that was a let, so it's going to be another second serve. It looks like it's going to go to 3-0 according to that scoreboard. Yeah. Second serve out wide, but eventually forehand error there from Wu as it goes along. 3 games all. Yeah, so it's 3 games all. And yeah, not sure which way it's going to go at the moment. What's happening elsewhere? Yeah, still in Seoul, the WTA final, Korea Open. One of those players aiming to be the first champion of the Asia swing on the ATP and WTA tours. Świątek up 30-15, 5-0 in that final set. Very interesting match there. Alexandrova coming out much better than perhaps people expected. She is a former champion, and so Well, another error there from Medvedev. Wu being aggressive. And yeah, playing that point very well. Wu Yibing, as I said before, China's first ATP champion, winning the Dallas Open back in 2023. That was an indoor hardcourt tournament. Beat John Isner in the final. And yeah, what a player. I mean, he's certainly shown that he can compete with some of the very best players. He's doing pretty well in this match so far. Medvedev, former Slam champion at the US Open. He came through and beat the GOAT, Novak Djokovic, in straight sets in that tournament. But it's 30-all here to Wu. Serve out wide, very good. Oh, but that was a nice return from Medvedev, deep. And yeah, kind of rushed Wu there, who made the error on his forehand. 30-15. Yeah, so serve from Wu. Down the tee, but it is out. Second serve. Second serve lands in. We are in a rally now. Backhand from Wu. Forehand from Medvedev. Big backhand from Wu. He comes to the net. Oh, that was a nice... Oh! That was a nice little volley there from him at the net. Medvedev gets to the ball, but it looked like it was going wide. And then Wu jumps to hit the ball. And of course, it goes way out. So 30-all, and you have to think, I don't know if Wu just panicking there, but he should have realized that that ball from Medvedev was, I think that was going out. So yeah, anyway, yeah, well, bad decision there from Wu, but he's got to put that behind him. 30-all. Oh, it was a let. That looked like a good serve down the middle, but let it will be in another first serve. And yeah, that was another one. Very good serve there on return. So that must have been deep onto the service line there. 40-30. And yeah, I think if Wu can get this game, it's crucial to get this 7th game for his chances in this match, and specifically this set, but probably the match. Oh, that was a decent enough return there, but it was an error there from Wu. He'll be disappointed with that. He dumps it into the net. Yeah, it was a difficult one with his weight going back, but he'll be disappointed with that error. It's deuce. And this is going to be danger time, perhaps, because Medvedev will be looking to strike. It's an ideal time for him to break. Serve down the middle from Wu. Oh, and it lands in. The return. Oh, Wu comes to the net again, and his little volley, again, similar. We've seen that before, goes into the net. So that's an error, and it's advantage Medvedev. Now pressure for the hometown favourite, Wu Yibing. And yeah, you've got to feel he's really got a hold here, I think, if he's going to even take the match. So yeah, good serve now. Backhand from Medvedev. Slice backhand from Wu. Forehand up the line from Medvedev. Cross-court forehand from Wu. Now backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Cross-court. Backhand cross-court. And it's Medvedev who goes up the line with that backhand. Wu doing extremely well. And it was Medvedev who came forward this time to the net, and he puts his forehand volley into the net. So it's his turn to make an error when coming forward, and that just keeps him in the match. It's deuce. Wu against Medvedev at deuce. Yeah, exciting here, but yeah, you've really got to feel that Wu's got to hold on here if he's going to get the victory. First serve from Wu lands in. Oh, and he tried to go. It was returned by Medvedev. He tried to go big cross court, but that was wild. Way out. Advantage Medvedev. And hi, Reggie Rock. You're asking where to watch the match live. I don't know where you are. I don't know who the provider is in your country, but you can watch the match live on Tennis TV, but that's a subscription service. Serve from Wu. And that is returned long by Medvedev, so it's back to deuce. Yeah, so though it looks like it's going to be another breakpoint opportunity for Medvedev. Wu down the tee. That was a good serve, but what's he going to do here? He tries to go for the cheeky little drop shot, but that was not well executed. And Medvedev races forward, puts his forehand up the line, and that's another advantage. This has got to be. I feel like this is going to be crucial in this match. And Medvedev, you got to be careful with him. He's also quick. Advantage Medvedev. It's the third break point. Great serve out wide from Wu Yibing. It is returned there. Oh, and he has to come forward to the net. Oh my goodness. It took him several opportunities, but eventually Medvedev's ball went long, and yeah, Wu just couldn't finish it at the net. The ball kept coming back. But eventually Medvedev made the error, and it's at deuce. Well, it's a good question, Nozreg. Who will win the first set? Can't say for sure, but I feel like if Wu Yibing does actually hold here, I think he's got a great chance to take the first set. This feels crucial. I mean, if he gets broken here, Medvedev is not going to be easy to get past. So once he's ahead. So yeah, that was a nice play there again. This time just hard down the middle, brought the error from Medvedev, who puts his ball wide, and Wu Yibing has the advantage, and it looks like he's going to hold on. How does he do it? So yeah, it is serve from Wu Yibing down the tee. That's fantastically executed. And yeah, Medvedev cannot return it. And that is 4-3, and that feels crucial. And I think now that gives Wu a great opportunity to see if he can, take this first set, and I think give him a chance to actually win the match. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see is Medvedev though. I mean, of course he's strong on serve when he's firing well, making those first serves. Sometimes he can get through his service games easily. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to do that here. Obviously, a very tough service game for Wu to come through, but he's going to be glad to be able to hold on there, and I definitely think that gives him a chance to get through this match. And yeah, I think he's going to try and come out and be very aggressive if he can with that return. And news elsewhere, it looks like Iga Swiatek is the champion, the first on the WTA or ATP tours of this Asian swing. The number one seed in Seoul comes back from behind to win 1-6, 7-6, 7-5 against Ekaterina Alexandrova. And that makes Swiatek the champion in Seoul for the first time. It's her first time competing in Seoul. She was supposed to play last year, but she had to withdraw due to her ban. But yeah, Iga gets the win at the Olympic Park Tennis Stadium in Seoul. And yeah, it was Iga who, she mentioned her own father was an Olympic athlete at the Seoul Olympic Games back in '88. She too has made her mark in Seoul with the title. And yeah, great victory for her. But here we are covering now the Hangzhou Open in China. It's an ATP 250 event. This is the quarterfinal. Big moment for the hometown hero, Wu, because, yeah, he's from this hometown and also on a bit of a comeback trail. And he's had such struggles with injury. For him to get the victory here would be huge for him. As Medvedev is serving here to try and level it to bring it to 4-all. Second serve from Medvedev, but it's not returned by Wu. 15 love. Yeah, great. Oh, that was long, that first serve from Medvedev, but second serve it will be. And that was a very good second serve down the middle. Well, yeah, it looks like Medvedev is racing through his service game again. And that's just, after such a long service game, it was good for Wu to get through that one. But for Medvedev to be able to race through his service game here, that is, just going to put the pressure right back on Wu to perform. So, yeah, big first serve again on return to bring it to 40 love. And that's what makes Medvedev such a tricky opponent to face. Medvedev, big serve. It is returned though by Wu. He goes big with a backhand cross court, steps into it, and that's a great backhand winner. 40-15. But is it going to be enough? No. Yeah, it was returned by Wu, but when they get into the backhand rally, forehand was hit cross court by Medvedev, and they brought the forehand error from Wu. Sends it long, 4 games all. And yeah, I think Wu will be hoping to make sure this hold, if he's going to hold, it's going to be quicker than his last one, where he faced several break points and juices. So yeah, so Wu to serve. Yeah. First serve out wide from Wu. Very good serve. He comes forward, finishes off easily at the net. And yeah, big cheer from the crowd there. He's got good support, of course, being from Hangzhou. Yes, so 15 love. Big serve out wide from Wu Yibing. Brings it to 30 love. Excellent play from the Chinese player. Yeah, and this is definitely going quicker than his previous service game. That was a let there. Going to be another first serve. Big first serves coming as well. I mean, that one was a let, but it was 199 kilometers per hour. Good pace. Second serve it will be as that serve goes into the net. Serve from Wu Yibing, returned by Medvedev. Forehand was up the line from Medvedev, so from Wu, and then he comes into the net to finish off beautifully at the net with a forehand volley. And yeah, 40 love. And again, those are the kind of points that Wu has been playing very well in this match. I mean, just going big up the line there that allows him to come forward and finish off the point. And yeah, as I say, if you can take those opportunities to shorten the point like that against Medvedev, that's exactly what you need to do. Not always easy though, because you really have to be aggressive and then stretch Medvedev. And he's a player who's so good at the end of his range. And yeah, another more extended rally there. Wu sliding with the forehand and sending his forehand long. But that is exactly, yeah, the kind of rally where you perhaps expect Medvedev to come out on top. So yeah, 40-15, but we've still got 2 game points here. Good first serve. It is returned by Medvedev. And they're going, oh, it was this time Medvedev with his backhand into the net, trying to be aggressive, but yeah, making the error. That's another good hold for the Chinese player. He leads 5-4 in this first set and just 1 game away now from the first set for him. So, yeah, as I said, Medvedev was able to race through his last 2 service games pretty quickly, but let's see if Wu can get a foothold this time, because obviously if he's able to break, he can create that pressure and have a chance to take the first set. I think he'd probably prefer to be able to do it at this point rather than perhaps go into a tie break, which at this stage we have to look forward to perhaps. Yeah, elsewhere, as I said, that was Iga Swiatek getting the win over Alexandrova in Seoul from a set down. She's the WTA 500 champion at the Korea Open. Elsewhere, though, we have a ATP 250 event also going on in Chengdu in China. And that is a match between the number 1 seed Lorenzo Musetti and Nicolas Basilashvili, the Italian against the Georgian. It is 5-3 with Musetti up a break, but juice at the moment on the Basilashvili serve. So Musetti, just a game away from taking that first set. I suppose not anything surprising there. Earlier on, it was Nakashima who was tested by Marcos Giron. Nakashima, the 4th seed, coming through 6-3, 2-6, 7-6. He also beat Jerry Shang earlier in this tournament. Of course, the other Chinese player kind of on his own comeback trail as well. And Nakashima looking very sharp. He'll definitely be one of the favorites for the title. Another Asian player, a couple of Asian players actually. Taro Daniil against Alexander Shevchenko later in the quarterfinal in Chengdu. Taro Daniil representing Japan and Shevchenko of Kazakhstan. That's interesting one. Taro Daniil has played very well. He beat Coleman Wong in the first round, and yeah, Taro is needed the points because he got a lot of points. His ranking slipped anyway, but Taro's also got a lot of points to defend from challengers where he did very well last year, and then he got to a final and won a title, and yeah, he's obviously going to need to get good results here. It'll be interesting to see how he does because he wants to be able to make the Australian Open, which is coming up obviously in start of next year. So it was a decent return there from Wu. It's 15-all and brought the error from Medvedev. It'll be interesting to see now, can Wu put the foot down and take this first set? I think this is a great chance now for him. Serve from Medvedev down the tee, but it's out, and it's going to be a second serve. This perhaps is a chance here for Wu. Yeah, second serve, decent return from Wu Yibing. He manages to get there. Good, aggressive backhand cross court, and that was difficult for him. It wasn't that easy, having to stretch a little bit, but that was very well executed, and that brought the error from Medvedev. 15-30, and that's exactly what he needs to do if he's going to get on top here, and beautifully executed. That's just, he's got such talent, great off both wings, but a lot of power. He's athletic. Yeah, he's just at his best on these kind of hard courts. Second serve now for Medvedev. It is returned by Wu, but that's a good forehand from Medvedev, and yeah, just working the angles. That was a great forehand up the line, really well placed. And yeah, Medvedev, no doubt, in spite of him having, fallen from his peak, let's say. I mean, of course, he was a former world number 1, right? Yeah, he is still very much a big time player. let it's going to be. Another first serve for the Russian, number 2 seed in Hangzhou. Yeah, serve out wide. It is returned by Wu, but yeah, backhand cross. Oh, the backhand cross court goes long from Wu. He hit some of those so well, but he'll be disappointed with that opportunity to take it there. And you got to feel like he's got to take some of these opportunities if he's going to get on top here. It's 40-30 to Medvedev. Okay, serve now for Medvedev. Game point goes wide. It's going to be a second serve. Down the tee, it is returned by Wu, and slice backhand there from Wu, and a forehand error from Medvedev, so it goes to deuce. But yeah, I mean, good play here from Wu, and but he's yet to create a break point. He's had to save 3 of his own. So, yeah, perhaps he's going to have to take it to a tiebreak. Just been unable to create breakpoint opportunities that he needs. I mean, it's second serve now for Medvedev, and is returned into the net by Wu. So, advantage Medvedev. And you have to say, he's got to be a little bit more ruthless if he's going to get on top here. Otherwise, I think Medvedev is going to be one taking the set. Serve from Medvedev. Out wide. It goes wide. Second serve it will be. And it's returned okay from Wu. Backhand cross court. Backhand cross court from Medvedev. Slice backhand from Wu. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. And it's out from Medvedev. So back to deuce. Yeah, surprising error there from Medvedev into the tram lines. Wu coming out on top in the cross-court backhand exchange. But as I said, it's still Wu who has been unable to create any break points in this set. He did well to come through facing 3 break points in, I think it was the 7th game of this set. Oh, and Wu's doing well here, but he comes to it forward, and eventually he loses that exchange at the net. Another opportunity that he could have created. He goes for the little drop shot, but then Medvedev comes in well, brings the error from Wu. Advantage Medvedev. Second serve it will be for Medvedev. It is in. Oh, it's a let. Another second serve from Medvedev. And returned by Wu. Oh, and it was a decent enough return because it brings the error on the backhand side from Medvedev, who puts his ball into the net, back to deuce. And yes, the Chinese crowd, loud, getting excited, screaming, "Come on," for Wu. And it's still juice, but good serve from Medvedev, and it's out. So it's advantage Medvedev again. And it looks like he's going to hold on here with Wu, creating some pressure, but still unable to create a break point. Yeah, Wu's ball just going long there at the end of that point there. Advantage Medvedev. Good serve. It is returned. And it's Medvedev coming forward to the net this time. And it pays dividends. So 5 games all. Another good hold from the Russian player. And it's quite a match here. The crowd are being treated to a good competitive match with some nice plays. But Wu will be hoping, perhaps, to be able to create, obviously hold here and then try and finally create some breakback points and take the first set before it gets into a tiebreak. Oh, Wu coming forward again, but then just getting caught under the ball and putting it into the net. So that's not a great start for him in this service game. Love 15. And yeah, you just got to feel, is this now where Medvedev turns screw, having, Wu missed those opportunities to take, perhaps create break point opportunities and just not really executing as well as he needed. And yeah, that's a backhand that hits the tape. And yeah, that allows Medvedev to come forward and hit a little drop shot that Wu can't get to at love 30. And is this the moment where Medvedev can break and serve for the first set? And yeah, serve now from Wu Yibing down the tee. Good forehand from Wu, backhand from Medvedev, backhand cross-court from Wu, backhand from Medvedev, backhand cross-court from Wu, another backhand cross-court from Medvedev, backhand up the line from Wu, forehand cross-court from Medvedev, and forehand, backhand from Wu cross-court. Oh, that's a great backhand from Medvedev, and somehow Wu gets there. Is he going to finish at the net? He does touch it. Oh, that's a... Oh my goodness. Wu raced forward and got the ball, but his foot seemed to have touched the net, and that means he will lose the point. And that means Medvedev has 3 break point. I should say 3 break back. No, 3 break point opportunities. Yeah, you see the replay. He got the ball, but then he raced forward and his foot touched the net. Clearly, the umpire can see that, so it's the right call according to the rules. And yeah, pressure now for the Chinese player in his home tournament. 3 break points, and yeah, just good serve down the tee there from Wu. Oh, and that was big forehand up the line there from Medvedev. It was a great effort, but it just goes long. He was trying to take his opportunity there. That would have been such a great Medvedev way to take it, but no, just goes long. 15-40. Is Wu going to be able to hold on here? He saved a bunch of break points earlier in the set to hold. That was a good serve there, but it was, oh no, it gone long. So second serve it will be. Very tight here. Second serve from Wu. Pretty soft one, that one, but it goes in. Backhand there from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Forehand from Medvedev. Big forehand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Big backhand from Wu. And that brings the error from Medvedev. Sends it long. 30-40. But can Wu hold on here? Save 2 break points again. And yeah, I mean, you really got to feel Wu's got to hold here otherwise. Yeah, I mean, certainly the set's likely gone, but then, yeah, I feel like he has to win this first set to take the match. And, well, it looks like Medvedev is going to break, as you can see from the scoreboard there. And it looks like, yeah, good first serve from Wu, and it just lands inside the return. And backhand to backhand. Big forehand from Wu. big forehand, backhand from Medvedev, but it's the backhand error there from Wu. Yeah, snatching at that one, and it goes way wide, and it's Medvedev who breaks, and he will now serve for this first set. And you have to say, yeah, I mean, it's been Medvedev the one who's been creating the breakpoint opportunities. Wu hasn't been able to create any. He had little opportunities where he felt like he might be able to do it, and he just didn't execute well enough in those moments. And now you have to say that it looks likely that Medvedev will probably take this, and in my view, probably in straight sets. But yeah, I mean, obviously the head-to-head is not good for Wu from his point of view. Yeah, he's yet to win a set against Medvedev. They've played 5 sets because it was 3 at the US Open. Medvedev winning in straight sets there, and again, most recently in Washington, Medvedev winning in straight sets in 2. And perhaps Medvedev's about to win another set, the 6th set. But yeah, 6-5 to Medvedev. And yeah, it's not, I don't think it's just a tricky matchup, for Wu. And Medvedev, just the kind of player that's able to hang in there and bring out the errors from a player like Wu. And Wu is certainly a player that's able to dominate a lot of players and from the baseline with his power, but much harder against a guy like Medvedev, who, yeah, it's just a brick wall. He loves to soak up the pressure and wait for his opportunities to pounce. And then when he serves as well as he does, it makes it doubly difficult. So Medvedev here to serve for the first set. Let's see what he can do. Serve down the middle is out. Second serve it will be. Serve from Medvedev. Oh, it's double fault. Well, could he perhaps be giving Wu a chance to take this to a tie break? First serve into the net from Medvedev. Second serve opportunity it will be now. Good return from, well, it wasn't the best return actually. He got his racket on it, but Medvedev is going big with that backhand. It goes into the tram lines, and it's love 30. And it's quite surprising because you wouldn't expect Medvedev to come out and start a service game like that after what we've seen so far. But that's a tremendous serve down the tee from Medvedev, and that's more like the Medvedev we'd expect to see. $15-30, but it looks like it's going to be another quick one from Medvedev. I mean, he has raced through his service games fairly quickly for the most part. Great serve out wide, beautiful ace there. And 30 all here between Wu and Medvedev. Yeah, big serve again from Medvedev that's unreturned. All right. Yeah, and it's yeah, Medvedev is going to take this first set 40-30. And really, no great surprise, I suppose. I mean, did feel it was going to be closer than their previous encounters. And it has turned out that way so far. But that was a great serving in the end from from Medvedev. After going love 30 in that final service game, he comes through with 4 very well executed serves to take the first set 7-5. And you have to say, well done in the end for Medvedev. He was the player creating more of the pressure. As I say, Wu had opportunities perhaps, but he just didn't quite execute when he needed to. I mean, he has had some very good plays in terms of being able to pressure Medvedev with the aggression, but as you can see with the stats, it's 9 winners to 18 unforced errors for Wu. Those unforced errors making the difference. Daniil Medvedev, 12 winners to 14 unforced errors. So, yeah, much better ratio for him. And yeah, it's I mean, Wu's been serving well. I mean, 78% first serves in, 60% for Medvedev. But in terms of the first serve and second serve points, won only 66 and 56% for Wu Yibing, whereas it's 75 and 63 for Daniil Medvedev. So yeah, all the work left to do now for Wu Yibing. Can he come back from a set down? It doesn't seem likely, but you never know in tennis. But Medvedev, once he gets on top, I'm looking at how he's played in this match so far. I think he might be able to get it done in 2, but let's see, because Wu certainly does have a lot of talent, and he's obviously playing in front of his home crowd here, so he's certainly not going to give up. I think he's going to give it a good go, and let's see what he can do. Obviously, if he gets a good start in this second set, he'll be able to serve first. Perhaps he can create a little bit of pressure. Sometimes it's if you serve first, it's makes things a bit easier, because if you get one break and hold, you can be up 3-love before you know it. So let's see if he's able to do that. So we're just waiting for the second set to start with Yibing to serve. Yeah, and you have to say it's actually been a pretty good performance from Wu. But the difference between like a top 10, top 20 kind of guy, and the level of Wu at the moment is how you're able to take those opportunities, these half chances that allow you to get a foothold, get and create break points, and in those big moments, it's just been Wu making errors, and he's plays in a very aggressive, exciting brand of tennis. But as I say, against Medvedev, it's just very difficult because you have to sometimes just hit that extra ball, and more than you're used to against other players. But that was better there from Wu, who serves decently, and it's on return. So 15-all at the moment. Second serve down the tee from Wu. He comes in and he does jump to make that smash volley, and yeah, really at the stretch there, but that was well executed. He's a good athlete, of course. First time I saw Wu Yibing play, actually, yeah, first time I saw him live actually at a match was here in Seoul at the Seoul Challenger, and that was 3 years ago. I think that was, yeah, and he actually got to the final but lost to Lee Tu, the Australian player. But there was no doubt that he was an extremely talented player. From what I saw that week, I also saw him win the semi-final match before that final, and yeah, an extremely impressive baseline hitter. Forehand and backhand, a lot of power. But they're now checking the court, the umpire here, because it seems like there might be a bit of rain falling. And of course, on a hard court, it doesn't need much rain before it becomes unplayable. It must be just a little bit, perhaps a little drizzle. It doesn't seem obvious from watching from the camera view that I can see, but potentially this is going to be delayed, this match, and hopefully it's not suspended. But they are checking using their feet to see how slippy the court is. We had a lot of rain in Seoul over the last week that caused lots of delays for the WTA Korea Open tournament. Even all of the quarterfinals were rained off on Friday. All the singles quarterfinals, the doubles were all moved indoors. But eventually, they had pretty good weather over this weekend, and so they played both the quarterfinals and the semifinals yesterday. And some of those players featured in those, Maya Joint and Barbora Krejcikova also had to play doubles after that. So, heavy schedule for them. But yeah, they had a fairly smooth final day for the doubles and singles final in Seoul. Beautiful weather today. This is like the start of autumn. So, yeah, eventually it was fine, but it looks like the weather in Hangzhou is fine. At least for now, they are going to continue play. So 30-15 Wu serving in this first service game of the second set. It's going to be a second serve as that first serve goes into the net. Serve from Wu. And we're in a bit of an extended exchange now. Backhand deep cross court from Medvedev brings the error from Wu, and it's 30-all. Just see Wu holding his shoulder a little bit there. I don't know if that's something he's feeling. He did touch it. I think he might have had issues with that before, but yeah. I mean, certainly with the way he serves and the power he brings. But he looks okay at the moment. Second serve, though, it's going to be. It's in. Returned by Medvedev. Aggressive backhand there from Wu. And we are in an extended exchange here. Oh, yeah. Wild forehand there. His weight was coming back, but he went big with that forehand, and it goes way long. And yeah, certainly that was an ambitious attempt there from Wu. And yeah, I mean, you can understand the need to be aggressive, but he's got to be a bit more controlled there. And it's a break point opportunity at the start of the second set for Medvedev. And serve, it goes down the tee, but it is returned with a chip return from Medvedev. And eventually, Wu is being aggressive here. He's got to be careful. The balls keep coming back. Another big forehand. The backhand cross court, but it's a beautiful backhand counter punching pass up the line from Medvedev. And that is the break. 1-love early in the second set. And yeah, you just kind of felt that might be coming. And yeah, very much a Daniil Medvedev point that. And that is a great way for him to start this second set. But obviously bad news for Wu. And yeah, it was always going to be just, the question was whether Wu has the rally tolerance, let's say, as well as the ability to, is he able to actually hit through
Medvedev enough to actually get ahead, and evidently so far that has proven to be no, he can't. So does feel like Medvedev is turning the screw, and perhaps this set will go quicker. Yeah, we were still unable to create any breakpoint opportunities, and it's got to be mentally and physically taxing for the Chinese player right now. Elsewhere, I should say, Musetti is up 6-3, 4-3 in Basilashvili, but it's on serve in that second set. That's the quarterfinal in Chengdu. Oh, yeah, and that's another wild forehand there from Wu. I mean, frustration, I think, there in that forehand. But really, he's got to rein it in if he's going to have any chance to get back. I mean, I think he's just frustrated, which is perhaps understandable when you face a Medvedev in this kind of form. But looks like Medvedev is going to race through this service game, and second serve from Medvedev that goes out. So 40 love. Oh, it does look like the rain has started again. And yeah, the rain does look noticeable now, and it does look like they're going to have to suspend the match. They do have a roof in Hangzhou, so it hopefully won't be too long because they can close the roof. And that might seem like the sensible option now. Nice roof they got there, but the play is suspended for the moment. Yeah, but the players are staying on court. So, as I say, I'm guessing they're going to close the roof, and hopefully that's not going to take too long. I'm assuming that they know it's not going to take long, which is why the players are going to stay on court. Yeah, and of course it's with Medvedev on. He's leading 1-love, but he's got 3 game points to take it to 2-love up a break. So very much looking like Medvedev's going to be the one, perhaps racing to a lead in this second set, and probably wanting to get it wrapped up as quickly as possible. But yeah, just now they're just waiting for the roof to close. In the meantime, I'm going to take a little bit of a break until play starts again. And perhaps you can watch a clip from our podcast about last year's great run by Bu Yunchalketi in the Asian swing. I mean, to be fair to Bu, he was more than matching Rublev in the rallies, and of course, we all know the power, and how good he is. Rublev is from the back of the court, and incredible baseliner. He's just one of the best. And he's that's why he's been top 5 in the world. And so, but for Bu to do that and come through that, I mean, it was quite remarkable. I mean, obviously we talked about him a lot in this podcast and said, well, he seems to be getting very good over the summer. I mean, even those of us who watch tennis closely did not quite expect him to pull this off. But I mean, it was very obviously we know how good his tennis in terms of it can be in the rallies, but then just mentally that he was able to stay composed and stay strong and be aggressive. And it's I watched Boo last year in this. That was his sort of a bit of a breakthrough for him because he played the Seoul Challenger.
It was here, yeah,
in spring last year, and he went on to win the title against Vukic in the final. I mean, I saw him actually there's a video I shared just after Boo's run on Twitter. I watched him on the outer court in front of about 5 people.
Right.
But at that time, I mean, I tweeted something like, "What a machine this guy is." What struck me back then was, he certainly wasn't hitting the ball as well as he does now, but he was, had a good serve, and he, you could tell he was very determined, and he was a good athlete. That's what, I could see then.
Right.
And then he ended up having a good week and winning the title. Didn't do well though. If that was the standard that he'd set, then he didn't really match it for the rest of the year. But then from this year, from about from April, he had a good tournament in Korea. I think he got to the final, and then he won a few tournaments over the summer at the challenger level. So yeah, this was clear that he was reaching good form, and he was making improvements. Yeah, so after Guangzhou final, then he won in China in Wuxi, and then he won in Granby in Canada, and then reached another final in Chicago. So these are really good results. And then of course he actually qualified for the first time at a major. He qualified for the US Open. I think he lost out to Casper Ruud in the first round, but he was obviously looking good. But I mean, it's really impressed me how well. I mean, he, when I watched him last year in that challenger in Seoul, the forehand looked like the better side for him. But now he really hits that clean and hard. It's quite amazing sometimes. And then also, sliding out of the corners. He's good at that on the forehand side, and getting passing shots up the line, and then also just general ability to hang there in the rallies, without making errors. It's very impressive. I mean, unfortunately, when he had to go out through to the semi-final, he had to play Yannick Sinner, of course, the number 1 player. And he was in the semi-finals, but it was still a respectable showing because he lost out the first set 6-3, and then the second set went to a tiebreak. So he only lost that second set in a tiebreak. It was 7-3 in the tiebreak. I mean, Sinner's tiebreak record is been ridiculous. It's this year, so and that's why he's the number 1 player in the world. And then for Boo to do that though, it's really just sort of changed my perspective on sort of where he can go at the moment, because he's now up to 69 in the ranking, so that should be good for him to sort of, well, I mean, certainly he's going to be in the Australian Open again, but then also just the ATP Tour tournaments, he's going to be able to get automatic entry in the entry list from now on, at least for a while.
Qualifying tournaments required.
Yeah, and then, let's see if he can build up points and possibly, I mean, some people were suggesting to me maybe he could be the number 1, and I would never have thought that, the number 1 Chinese player.
Chinese, I mean,
because we've got, because he could, the Chinese number 1, not number 1 in the world. That's
like Coleman Wong ambition. That would be.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it looks like they're about to restart. And that was a mistake there from Medvedev. But it's 40-15. And that was an easy hold there in the end. 2 games to love
for Daniil Medvedev, the Russian former world number 1. Now up a set and the consolidated break. And very much in the driving seat. Here is Wu now to serve. Yeah. Now in an extended backhand to backhand exchange, backhand cross court from Medvedev. He finds the angle so well, and it draws the error from Wu. I mean, as what I'm seeing so far, this has got a potential for Medvedev to race away with this set, but it's love 15, no? Yeah, so this time Wu coming out on top. And yeah, that was a good serve there. Out wide, yeah, 30-15. And yeah, so let's see if Wu can hold fairly easily, and then maybe perhaps can create a bit of pressure. Yes, first serve down the tee going out, but the second serve will be hit. Still big crowd backing there for the local player. Second serve is in. Oh, this time it was Wu adopting the slice, backhand, short slice that brought Medvedev forward and drew the error. So he was looking a little bit uncomfortable there, caught in no man's land. But 40-15. Served. Oh, that was there. Wu coming in for the serve volley, but it was not a particularly convincing, well, serve and approach, really. But 40-30. Still a game point, though. First serve from Wu. Down the tee, but it's wide. Second serve. Oh, he messes up his, well, bouncing the ball, and then he's going to take the second serve now. Heads in, returned by Medvedev, but backhand up the line from Wu. And then, yeah, Medvedev just scrambling so well to get the ball, and eventually a forehand error long by Wu. It's juice. And you just feel like Medvedev perhaps going to break here. Well, let's see. He's been so good at, turning up the pressure at the right moments. It's returned by Medvedev. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand cross court from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand cross court from Wu. Backhand to backhand exchange continues. Slice backhand there from Wu. And eventually he goes big cross court with a forehand Wu, and he gets an advantage. Yeah, and he's going to have to keep doing that if he's going to have any chance of getting back into this match. Nice forehand cross court there. I mean, you've got to be that big and aggressive, I think. I mean, yeah, against a player like Medvedev. Second serve, though, it's going to be for Wu. And it's in. Returned pretty deep by Medvedev, but yeah, good pickup by Wu on the forehand, and it brings the error, who goes cross court wide, Medvedev. So yeah, 2-1. Still up a break, Medvedev, in this second set. But good for Wu to get that game on the board, and perhaps he can come back. He's still got a chance. Of course, it's early in this set. If you're joining, please hit like and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, of course, we do provide content relating to Asian tennis, especially this is now the Asian swing. We'll be covering the Asian tournaments, some focus on the Asian players as well. I'm going to be, doing these live streams as we are now about at 4.75 thousand subscribers, hoping to get up to 5,000 soon. But as we cover this match here, Wu Yibing playing against Daniil Medvedev. This is a big match for Wu, obviously, in his hometown, playing against a former US Open and world number one in Medvedev, and a player that he's struggled with. I mean, yeah, as I said before, he has not won a set, and none of the matches were close, those last two matches. I did feel like this one would be closer, and yeah, then the first set was close, 7-5 it was, and certainly Medvedev, although he wasn't top, Wu had moments where he was also dominating in the rallies, but when it came to opportunities to be able to create breakpoints and perhaps create that pressure, unfortunately Wu was making mistakes. And I remember one particular cross-court backhand that went long that was at a crucial point, and he'd done so well as well with those kind of shots, and then he made the error. And as I say, this is the difference between a top 20, top 10 sort of guy like Medvedev and Wu, is the ability to make big time plays, in those big moments. They're just able to dig it out much better. And 15 love to start off though, Medvedev here, and first serve here for Medvedev. Yeah, it's good aggression there from Medvedev. 30 love. Yeah, and you do wonder as well, does Wu have the sort of the physical fight in him to try and come back here? Because some physical struggles there, but obviously with the way Medvedev's playing, he's not going to make it easy if there's any chance for Wu to come back. It's probably going to be a bit of a slog. Yeah, and there was, again, Wu going aggression on that forehand, but it was into the net, and it's love 40, or I should say 40 love, because it's Medvedev serving. But yeah, it's 3 game points for the Russian, and another simple service hold it's looking like. And he's been able to do that much more often than his Chinese opponent. Yeah, a good serve there from Medvedev, and the return goes wide. So 3-1, and I would not be surprised if we see Medvedev get another break in this set, and perhaps now. It does feel like he's very much in control. But for Wu, I mean, looking forward, I mean, regardless, if he does lose this match, I mean, it looks likely at the moment. It's been a nice little tournament for him. And, it's good for him to sort of hit this form at this moment in time before we go into Beijing. Beijing is a 500 tournament, and obviously a chance for him to do well. And Yeah, and then Shanghai with the quick conditions there certainly going to suit him. I said last year he got to the third round and put in a great performance against Carlos Alcaraz. So yeah, I'd be hoping to get maybe a better draw, maybe not face Medvedev so early. And yeah, that was an error there, though, again, on the forehand from Wu, and it's love 15. And yeah, I did say it was maybe a chance that Medvedev would be able to break again here. First serve from Wu. Great serve down the middle. And he comes forward, but it's an error there as his shot goes long. He tried to volley it, put his racket up, but it goes long. And love 30, and it's definitely tough times here. I mean, you have to say if he loses serve here, then it's basically game over. And I still think it's unlikely for him to get the win as things stand, but certainly if he goes down a double break, it's pretty much impossible. Yeah. But then eventually, Medvedev the one making the forehand error that time. We're staying aggressive. 15-30. Second serve it will be for Yibing. Second serve. Turned by Medvedev. Forehand from Medvedev goes into the net, though. So 30-all. Uncharacteristic, easy forehand error there from Medvedev. Certainly an unforced error. But Medvedev would be hoping to really put his foot down here. Get the break, and that pretty much, as I say, would more or less secure him this win. But good defending here from Medvedev. Just getting the balls back deep. Backhand there. Backhand from up the line from Medvedev. Oh, and Wu slides there, and the ball goes wide. And it's another break point, 30-40. Hi, Gene. Yeah, you've seen me before on Talking Tennis. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do appear on Talking Tennis from time to time. But yes, I have my own channel here, Tennis Asia TV, and yeah, Tennis Asia. You can find our Tennis Asia TV on the various socials. Well, that was a good serve there from Wu at the right time to bring it to Juice. Thanks for joining. Juice here. And certainly, Wu probably is not going to go down easily. As I said, his home tournament here, I think he loves it, being able to play here. Oh, and the forehand hits off the tape there, and it goes in way wide. So another breakpoint opportunity for the Russian. Advantage Medvedev. First serve from Wu into the net, but it's going to be a second serve. And yeah, thanks, Gene, for the comment. Thanks for joining. It's a second serve, was a decent one from Wu. He goes big with a backhand. Forehand there from Medvedev. Big forehand from Wu brings the error, and he screams, "Come on!" So Wu is certainly not giving up here. He's pumped. And it's Juice. Yeah, I mean, if he's able to keep it within one break, I think he's still going to have a chance to get back here. Double break, and yeah, as I say, it's pretty much done. But yeah, he's just got to keep trying, see if he can get back here, because you never know in tennis as well. Oh, that was a good serve out wide.
Medvedev is scrambling well, though, to get to these balls. Forehand there from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Another backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Goes long. Wu deciding to just go up the middle rather than cross court, and he does come out on top. So it's advantage Wu. And the crowd are loving this. They're screaming in support of Wu. Sure, he's loving that advantage, and he does serve, but it will be a second serve as that serve down the middle goes into the net. Second serve. Is in. That was a great backhand there from Medvedev, but still the rally's going. Backhand from Medvedev. Forehand from Medvedev. Backhand up the line from Wu. Aggression. He does get the chance to come forward. Oh, and it's a great... Oh, it was an attempt from the pass from Medvedev. You would expect him to make that, but it goes way long. And that is a great hold from the Chinese player. And he keeps himself in this match. Just one breakdown. Medvedev up 3-2. But yeah, the crowd love that. He's still fighting. And yeah, you can see there, Wu just sitting down, but shaking his fist as if, come on, I'm still in this. And yeah, that's good to see. Hi, Gene. Good question. How is Wu ranked so low? It's because he was out for a while with injury. So he's only been back really for a few months, which is why his rankings tumbled. And yeah, it's just been a bit unfortunate for him. I mean, all the Chinese ATP guys are, they had their problems with injuries, because Jerry Shang also recently came back not that long ago. And Zhang Zhizhen, Triple Z, he's also just come back. So it's great for them to all be back now, just for the Asian swing. So, yeah, but yeah, you're right. Wu is very talented. He has a very exciting game, but yeah, he should really be ranked high. He's probably at least a top 50 player, right? But yeah, hopefully he's okay, because he's called the physio to the court, so he's getting some medical attention. He's holding his shoulder, so yeah, he did sort of hold that before, so that's his right shoulder, and presumably, yeah, I mean, of course he's going to have made good work with that because of the way he serves, and of course he's right-handed. Yes, Gene, you like watching Zhang. Yeah, he's an exciting player, and another player that, I mean, he made the final in Hangzhou last year, but he probably is another player that should maybe have a title. He hasn't won an ATP title yet, Zhang, but although he has the honor of being the highest ever ranked Chinese player on the ATP side. But yeah, it's Wu who was the first Chinese player to win an ATP title in 2023, and then Shang won Chengdu last year. Unfortunately for Shang, he went out in the second round this year in Chengdu. So yeah, he's also taken a bit of a tumble in the rankings, but early days for him and his comeback. So I don't think he can be too disappointed in that respect. But massage medical timeout for Wu right now. Sneaky J Lee says, I'm surprised Wu hasn't gotten at least one break yet. Well, I mean, certainly there were opportunities to perhaps, get to those, to create break points, but he hasn't actually even had any break points at all. So, yeah, I think it's just, and, he has created some pressure on the Medvedev serve. I mean, he did get it to juice, but it's just, in the
key moments he's made some errors, and as I say, it's not always easy when you're playing a guy like Medvedev, because you're probably having to be, with the way Wu plays, like a little bit more aggressive than he's used to. He plays an aggressive game, but Medvedev defends so well, so you really have to be aggressive to stretch Medvedev, and it's always hard because inevitably Medvedev's going to get a lot of balls back, and that just really tests your ability to keep hitting those balls, and getting them in, and he, unfortunately couldn't do it under pressure, Wu, and no doubt, he has the ability to test pretty much any player, I would say, on the tour in terms of the way he plays it, except perhaps I don't know, like maybe Sinner, but like even so, I mean, he played against Alcaraz last year in Shanghai, and he took him to a tiebreak. Reggie's asking who is on a medical timeout. It's Wu Yibing, the Chinese player. He is on the medical timeout, just getting a massage of his right shoulder. He seems to have been struggling with that in this match, because earlier on I saw him holding the shoulder, but he's got, I guess, some strain there or something uncomfortable that, I mean, hopefully he's going to still be able to perform well enough in this match, but we'll have to see. Obviously not ideal. And a second kind of delay here in the match, because we had the rain delay earlier where they had to decided to close the roof because the rain was getting a bit too strong, and then now we just had this medical timeout, but which is at its end now, so we should be restarting pretty soon. And if you are watching, you can hit like or subscribe. That would be great to get more subscribers on board. So we're almost at 5,000 subscribers. It'd be nice to get to that milestone. You can also donate as well if you are that generous, but just happy to have you watching. Just elsewhere, I should say, we've got this quarterfinal finish between Musetti and Basilashvili in Chengdu. Musetti winning 6-3, 6-3, but the quarterfinal between Daniil and Alexander Shevchenko is underway. Shevchenko already held 1-love, and Daniil serving now 15-love. So early in that match, but another match of Tennis Asia interest, let's say. Daniil having a good week, coming from qualies now in the quarterfinals, and a good time for him to do it because he's sort of taken a tumble down the rankings and has a bunch of points to defend at this point of the year from last year's Asian swing. Did very well in the Challenger Tour, so he'd be hoping to make up for that with a run here, and obviously he'll be hoping to try and get near that top 100 and maybe secure Australian Open, although it's going to be difficult for him to do that. So we're back now. It's 15-love Medvedev. He takes the second serve, and Wu's return goes wide. So it's 30-love to Daniil Medvedev. Good serve out wide from Medvedev. He comes forward and he tries to take the drive volley out the air, but it hits it long, and that's a bit careless from Medvedev. 30-15, but perhaps he can afford to be a little bit careless when he's up a set and a break. But I mean, I wouldn't want to see that any more of that, though, if I'm a Medvedev fan. But that first serve goes out, and it's going to be a second serve. Oh, again, very careless. That second serve going out, and it's 30-all, and Medvedev just, as I say, getting careless, and he's got to be careful here. Getting a little bit impatient, perhaps. Serve goes in, and it's returned okay by Wu. Wu with the backhand up the line. Wu again aggressing with the backhand. Backhand deep from Wu. Keeps coming back though, and eventually the error from Wu with the forehand long. It's 40-30 to Medvedev. And it looks like he's going to hold on despite that sloppiness on serve. So game point for Medvedev, and it looks like he's closing this out. Great serve out wide. Good moment for him to get the ace. And it's 7-5, 4-2. Medvedev up the single break in this second set. Yeah, Wu shaking out that shoulder again. Obviously still an issue for him, but he does serve here. Serve out wide. It is returned, of course, by Medvedev. Aggression there with the forehand from Medvedev, but it coming back deep, but from Wu. Wu goes up the line there with the backhand, the off backhand, and yeah, that was very nice, and it draws the error from Medvedev, so 15 love. Oh, great serve and aggression there from Wu, eventually coming forward to finish at the net. And yeah, we love to see that kind of exciting playing. And certainly, I think with the way his shoulder is, he's probably trying to be aggressive as possible. And it's also a good strategy anyway, as against Medvedev. So yeah, let's see. 30 love here. Wu serves. And he goes for the drop shot, but it wasn't brilliant. And yeah, Medvedev was running very early. He gets there to finish off with the backhand, 30-15. Yeah, so yeah, great serve down the tee. The return going long, 40-15. And it looks like it's going to be a somewhat fairly straightforward hold for the Chinese player. Yeah, and of course, it's a bit of a concern with Wu, feeling his shoulder there, because obviously he's had a number of physical struggles, but oh yeah, and then he does come out on top of that rally with the backhand error, eventually ending that one from Medvedev. So still one break in it. Medvedev leads 4-3, and the crowd are still pushing Wu on. Big backing here. And it's a pretty nice arena here in Hangzhou. That is, for a 250, pretty nice stadium. Not many 250 events have arenas as big as this. And again, Wu getting medical treatment here, or he's going to get some sort of, yeah, getting some a rub of the shoulder there from the physio. So yeah, just good for Wu to be able to keep it close and stay just one break behind. Obviously, we had opportunities earlier. There was opportunities for Medvedev to actually go up a double break. He could have been up double break 4-1, but Wu did well to hold on, and here we are. And perhaps, who knows, he could actually get back into this match. Another medical timeout, though. Oh, no, yeah. That was just a brief one during the break. So we will start again now, as planned. Wu is up on his feet. And yeah. So it started off this Medvedev service game 15 love. Oh, that was a great backhand cross court. Wu races forward to the net to try and finish it off, but it was a great get from Medvedev on the backhand side that passes Wu. And you have to say, amazing counterpunching there from Medvedev. He just is able to get it. It was a really nice backhand cross court, but yeah, just Medvedev getting to that backhand and putting it up the line. And it's 30 love to the Russian. Serve out wide there from Medvedev. So Wu's racing to get to the balls, and he does get there, defending well. Oh, it's Medvedev going for the drop shot. Wu does get there. Oh, and it's Medvedev who makes the error into the net, and the crowd goes wild. But that's just 30-15, so Wu is having to work hard here just to win a point. Yeah. Big serve down the tee from Medvedev, and that is an ace. That's well done. 40-15. And it looks like he's going to be able to take this game. 9 aces for Medvedev in the match. None for Wu. And that is a good serve. And the return goes long. And it's 5-3 for Medvedev in the second set. And he's just 1 game away from this match. And doesn't look good for Wu, it has to be said. But Medvedev staying solid when he needs to be. And yeah, surprising as well. Yeah, not a single ace there from Wu, but I mean, it's, you know, with the way Medvedev returns, he stands so deep behind the baseline and he gets so many balls back, and that's why he's been at the very top of the game and a major winner. Oh yeah, and another, you know, fairly long exchange to start off this service game from Wu, and he comes out 15 love. Yeah, serve from Wu into the net. It's going to be a second serve. Second serve it is. Oh, just over the net, but forehand up the line there from Medvedev. But wow, Wu eventually just able to get the balls back and then finishing off with a tremendous forehand winner cross court deep. And that was spectacular. And yeah, I mean, that's just how good it has to be at the moment to beat Medvedev, but to win a point even. Yeah, so 30 love. First serve in, and it's unreturned into the net. 40 love. 3 game points for Wu, and looks like Medvedev is going to have to serve out for the match, and that's all Wu can do just now. And then let's see if he can get lucky and perhaps he can break back. Yeah, serve out wide from Wu is put into the high part of the net by Medvedev, and yeah, just Medvedev 1 game away from taking the match, but he's going to have to serve it out. He has served pretty comfortably so far, it must be said, but perhaps Wu can create a little bit of pressure here. He hasn't actually created a break point yet, so he'd have to do something that he's not done yet. But Medvedev he got a little bit sloppy earlier on during his previous service games, so there is perhaps potential for that to slip into Medvedev's game, and let's see what happens. But you never know. Elsewhere, as I said, Chengdu is underway, and the quarterfinal is being played there between Taro Daniil of Japan and Alexander Shevchenko of Kazakhstan. Still on serve, Shevchenko leading 3-2, although it's now 30 love on the Daniil serve. And yeah, that's an interesting one there in Chengdu. And that will be the semi-final played tomorrow between Brandon Nakashima and Alejandro Tabulo. Daniil hoping to go through to face Lorenzo Musetti. Definitely think, though, that Chengdu tournament, from what I've seen so far, Nakashima looked very sharp, so he's a good tip, perhaps, for the title. But now we've got this final. Let's say final. Medvedev is now serving at 5-4 in Hangzhou. Serve is in. Oh, but it's returned, and then is a backhand error into the net from Medvedev. So it's love 15. The perfect start for the Chinese player in this game as Medvedev hopes to serve out and take this match. Oh, that's a good serve out wide, though, from Medvedev, and he's able to hit that forehand up the line, and it draws the error from Wu. And 15-all. Oh, first serve hits off the tape. Medvedev's serve goes out, so will be a second serve. And it's returned well by Wu Yibing. Oh, and he manages to hit a backhand very deep and finds the inside of the court, and that's a winner. And so it is 15-30. And is this perhaps an opportunity for Wu to create some break points? I mean, if he wins a point here, he'd have 2, and he's not had any in the match so far. Serve out wide from Medvedev. It's going to be a second serve. The crowd are getting excited here. It's returned by Wu, but it goes long. It's 30-all. So Medvedev serves. It's out. Second serve, it's going to be it here at 30-all. Oh, but it's a double fault. And amazingly, Wu has his first breakpoint opportunity with Medvedev serving for the match. It isn't tennis sometimes so funny. I mean, you just wouldn't have thought that this would maybe be happening, but here we are. So Medvedev to serve 30-40. Oh, that's a good first serve for Medvedev, and then the return goes into the tram line. So he does save that break point well, Medvedev. It's deuce. First serve is out, so second serve for Medvedev. Big return there from Wu on that second serve. Big backhand cross court. The aggression from Wu. Big forehand deep up the line. Another one cross court. Oh, and the brings an error for Medvedev, whose forehand up the line goes into the tram lines. And that is advantage Wu. A second break point of the match coming in this game for Wu. Yeah, I mean, it could have been a double break earlier on in this set for Medvedev, and now, you know, Wu kept it just a break in it, and now it's another break point opportunity here for Wu. Can he get it done? Service from Medvedev out wide, goes wide. Second serve from Medvedev. Oh, it's a double fault. Can you believe it? So Wu breaks back, and he's still in this. It's back to 5 games all, and you have to say, well, the credit does go to Wu for just staying strong and just hanging in there, competing and keeping it within one break, and then he gets his opportunity to break back with Medvedev serving for the match. Medvedev perhaps cracking a little bit under the pressure, surprisingly, but you know, a couple of double faults, but like, well, you know, Wu is also rewarded for his aggression there. I mean, it was some tremendous forehand there earlier on, cross court that just landed in, and you know, enough to draw the error from Medvedev. And you have to say, this is turning into an exciting match because, yes, now a chance for Wu to go ahead in this set. That was a good serve and follow-up from Wu. 15-love. Serve out wide from Wu. It's out. It's going to be a second serve. Medvedev standing incredibly deep in the court. Second serve from Wu. It is returned by the Russian player. Backhand to backhand exchange cross court. That's a beautiful backhand there from Medvedev. Oh, but it is kept going by Wu, and he's done well to stay in this rally, and he's upping the aggression now. Forehands. Oh, this is tremendous from Wu. Backhand up the line from Wu. This is honestly an incredible rally, but somehow Medvedev comes out on top. He just keeps going. Eventually, Wu making the error, but it was a 20-shot rally, and 15 all it is. This has turned into quite an exciting match, and tennis is just amazing sometimes. I mean, it was up, you know, a set and a break, and it just felt like Medvedev was going to turn the screw, and he probably should have taken that double break, but he didn't. And then Wu manages to eventually get his moment to break back, you know, with Medvedev serving for the match. But yeah, Medvedev, it was a bit of a choke. I mean, it was a double fault in the end from Medvedev to hand the break back to Wu. And second serve, though, it's going to be now for Wu. Oh, that's a double fault. His serve going long, so 15-30. And now this is crucial. 15-30, of course, is a very crucial one because, you know, the next point's either going to be 2 break points for Medvedev or 30 all, which is
obviously much better. So good serve though from Wu. He's keeping that aggression. Backhand. Backhand from Medvedev goes into the tram line, so it's 30 all. And can Wu hold here and put himself one game from taking the second set? And also taking the lead for the first time. In this second set. Oh, and it's another error there from Medvedev. Wide and 40-30. And yeah, Medvedev is chuntering to his box and looking distressed. Yeah, he's wondering how he's found himself in this situation. And it looks like Wu has a game point here and he's going to be able to hold on. That's a good serve out wide, and it's unreturned from Medvedev into the net. So 6-5, Wu leads in this second set. And this is really exciting now. Wow, I mean, what a turnaround. There was an opportunity for Medvedev to go up a double break to make it, 4-1, and then perhaps, he would be serving. Perhaps it could have been 5-1, and then you're thinking, well, it's pretty much over, right? But then no, Wu managed to hold on, and it's 6-5 to Wu, and with the home crowd getting excited. Don't know. Do you think perhaps Medvedev could feel the pressure again and hand the momentum back to Wu? Comment here from Reggie. He thinks Wu can get the win now. Well, that would be quite something if he was to do that. Elsewhere, Chengdu, close between Daniil and Shevchenko. 5-4 to Shevchenko, but on serve with Taro up 30 love. Tight one there. And a big opportunity for either of those players. But, well, Wu Yibing was getting a medical timeout earlier for his shoulder. I wonder if he's feeling that so much now. I mean, he's got to be re-energized with how this is going. But yeah, of course, it was definitely a case of Medvedev getting tight in that tail end. Well, as he was serving for that second set. But let's see if he can respond now and hold his serve and take it to a second, or take it to a tie break, I should say. Serve out wide there from Medvedev, 30 love. So yeah, coming through this service game, fairly straightforward so far, and we have seen that for the most part for him in this match. I mean, one of the reasons why it looked like he might be comfortably heading to, two set victory, but aggression here from Wu, but he comes forward and eventually, Medvedev races forward to finish off with a winner, and it's 40 love to the Russian and 3 game points. It looks like we're heading into a tiebreak. And you would say maybe you would favor Medvedev with his serve and his experience to win the tiebreaker, but Reggie thinks different. He thinks Wu wins the tiebreaker, but let's see what happens. So we did see Medvedev wobble before.
Yeah, Wu to start off first here. Yeah, Wu serving. Yeah, and it was this time it was error from Medvedev. 1-0 to Wu. Serve from wow. That was a good first serve from Medvedev and returned by Wu. And it brings the error from Medvedev, and it's 2-0 to Wu. Huge roar from the Chinese crowd. It's going to be a let as Medvedev serves. Second serve now from Medvedev. It's returned by Wu. Wu is aggressive. Oh, it hits off the tape there. We're still in the rally. Oh, but it's a backhand. Cross court goes wide from Medvedev, and that's surprising. He had time there, and it's 3-0 to Wu, who has a double mini break. And this is honestly quite the turnaround. I mean, I had sort of written off Wu's chances to get back into this, but earlier on, but I did say that, you know, as long as he kept it within one break, he still gave himself a chance. But then he's actually gone through and finds himself ahead now in this tie break. So let's see if he can get the job done. Oh, good backhand. Oh, that was a backhand up the line there from Medvedev going long, and that was Medvedev, you know, showing some frustration there, and I think he's starting to get careless again. It's 4-0. So Wu to serve here. Serve out wide is out, so he will take a second serve. It's in. It's returned okay by Medvedev. We are in exchange here. Backhand from Wu, backhand from Medvedev, backhand from Wu, backhand down the middle from Medvedev. Forehand now from Medvedev. Forehand from Wu goes way long. So one of those mini breaks back for Medvedev. 4-1 to Wu. Oh, good serve out wide, unreturned. So that's 4-2. So Medvedev just behind one mini break now, but yeah, Wu 4-2. And the change ends now. It's going to be Medvedev to hit another serve. And here we go as they come out after the change of ends, and it's Medvedev serving here. goes down the middle. It's out. Second serve. It is returned by Wu. Backhand to back. Oh, backhand up the line there from Wu is out right into the tram line. So it's back to 4-3. So Medvedev has closed the gap here. Let's see how this goes. Good serve from Wu, but it is returned by the Russian. Oh, and it's Wu going big forehand cross court, but it's... Oh, yeah, Medvedev got it back, and then Wu had the opportunity and space. He went up the line with that forehand big, but it goes long, and it's 4 games all. And the initiative, you could say, has been handed back a little bit to Medvedev, but it's 4 games all. 4 points all. And Wu was up the double mini break, and it looks like he's under pressure now. Serve is in. It's returned by Medvedev. Forehand cross court from Wu. Now, forehand opportunity from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Forehand from Wu. It is returned by Medvedev. Oh, Medvedev with a tremendous passing shot. I mean, Wu gets there, but it goes into the net. And you have to say that was good counter punching there from Medvedev. And it's Medvedev who now has a 5-4 lead. And he's 2 points away from the match. And it was Wu smashes his racket. I mean, obviously knows huge opportunity has gone. So yeah, mini break for Medvedev, but it's not over yet. Still just a point in it there. Medvedev serves out. Second serve it will be. Returned by Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Forehand winner there from Wu. It's 5 points all. And the crowd are getting excited. Now, this is either going to be a match point for Medvedev or a set point for Wu next. It's a second serve. Now it will be for Medvedev. Good return there from Wu. He has an opportunity to come forward with the forehand. He does. He is aggressive, and it draws the error from Medvedev. He pumps the fist, and he's now going to have the opportunity to serve on a set point, 6-5. Wu. This is the set point. Great serve out wide, and it's unreturned. And that is the second set for Wu. Unbelievable. How did he come back there? The Chinese player, the Hangzhou native in Hangzhou, takes that tiebreak 7-5, and it goes into a decider. And this is a long one, perhaps, on our... Wow. And here we go. into a final set as we hear Queens, We Will Rock You playing. And yeah, I think Medvedev has been rocked here. I mean, look at the stats in set two. I mean, 7 winners to 21 unforced errors for Yibing and 8 winners to 20 unforced errors for Medvedev. I mean, not much in it there, but that doesn't exactly scream quality in terms of, winners. But I mean, it's Wu who gets out on top. I mean, certainly he's been the more aggressive player. I mean, he actually won one less points. So Wu won 41 points, Medvedev 42 total in that second set. Of course, that doesn't matter. It's about winning the right points. And yeah, I mean, what do you know? I mean, he didn't even have any break points until that Medvedev service game when he was serving for the match. And then Wu created 2, and then he took the break on his second opportunity. And yeah, what do you know? I mean, that's just tennis. Sometimes it is a bit crazy like that. And then here we are in this final set. I mean, which way is it going to go? Do you think Wu is going to come back to win this? That's not an outcome I would have expected. I really thought that if Wu was going to win this, he would have to take the first set. But then here we are. And now he perhaps has the momentum. But can Medi hold on and take this? It's going to be interesting. Just going to take a little break for a moment, and you can watch this.
Can you change it? No. Can't change it, right? So it does you no good to dwell on it. Sometimes we dwell on maybe bad points, but sometimes we dwell on good points, right? How many times have you guys seen players go, they hit a great shot, they're like, give me applause, give me applause, give me applause. They're still thinking about the great shot that they hit, and then before they know it, before they come back, they realize, oh shoot, I just lost the last 3 points, I didn't even realize it, right? So you cannot change what's happened already in the past. So when you play one point, whether it's good, whether it's bad, just know, hey, come back, play again, whatever point is in front of you, you make sure you give 100% focus.
I mean, to be fair to Boo, he was more than matching Rublev in the rallies, and of course we all know the power, and how good he is. Rublev is from the back of the court, and incredible baseliner. He's just one of the best. And he's that's why he's been top 5 in the world. And so, but for Boo to do that and come through that, I mean, it was quite remarkable. I mean, obviously we talked about him a lot in this podcast and said, well, he seems to be getting very good over the summer. I mean, even those of us who watch tennis closely did not quite expect him to pull this off. But I mean, it was very obviously we know how good his tennis in terms of it can be in the rallies, but then just mentally that he was able to stay composed and stay strong and be aggressive. And it's I watched Boo last year in this. That was his sort of a bit of a breakthrough for him because he played the Seoul Challenger.
It was here, yeah.
In spring last year, and he went on to win the title against Vukic in the final. I mean, I saw him actually there's a video I shared just after Boo's run on Twitter. I watched him on the outer court in front of about 5 people.
Right.
But at that time, I mean, I tweeted something like, what a machine this guy is. What struck me back then was, he certainly wasn't hitting the ball as well as he does now, but he was, had a good serve, and he, you could tell he was very determined, and he was a good athlete. That's what, I could see then.
Right.
And then he ended up having a good week and winning the title. Didn't do well though. If that was the standard that he'd set, then he didn't really match it for the rest of the year. But then from this year, from about from April, he had a good tournament in Korea. I think he got to the final, And then he won a few tournaments over the summer at the challenger level. So, yeah, this was clear that he was reaching good form, and he was making improvements. Yeah, so after Guangzhou final, then he won in China in Wuxi, and then he won in Granby in Canada, and then reached another final in Chicago. So these are really good results. Yeah, and then of course he actually qualified for the first time at a major. He qualified for the US Open. I think he lost out to Casper Ruud in the first round, but he was obviously looking good. But I mean, it's really impressed me how well. I mean, when I watched him last year in that challenger in Seoul, yeah, the forehand looked like the better side for him. But now he really hits that clean and hard. It's quite amazing sometimes, and then also sliding out of the corners. He's good at that on the forehand side, and getting passing shots up the line, and then also just general ability to hang there in the rallies. Without making errors, it's very impressive. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, when he had to go out through to the semi-final, he had to play Yannick Sinner, of course, the number one player. And yeah, he was in the semi-finals, but it was still a respectable showing because he lost out the first set 6-3, and then the second set went to a tiebreak. So yeah, he only lost that second set in a tiebreak. It was 7-3 in the tiebreak. I mean, Sinner's tiebreak record is been ridiculous. It's this year, so and that's why he's the number one player in the world. And then yeah, for Boo to do that though, it's really just sort of changed my perspective on sort of where he can go at the moment, because he's now up to 69 in the ranking, so that should be good for him to sort of, well, I mean, certainly he's going to be in the Australian Open again, but then also just the ATP Tour tournaments, he's going to be able to get automatic entry in the entry list from now on, at least for a while.
Qualifying tournaments required.
Yeah, and then, let's see if he can build up points and possibly, I mean, some people were suggesting to me maybe he could be the number one. Incredible stuff. And then, yeah, he was going toe-to-toe with Carlos Alcaraz. And there were moments where he was coming up with really quite spectacular shots that burning Alcaraz, which I don't think Alcaraz, and even by Alcaraz's own admission, he wasn't used to feeling like that. He said, I mean, I can actually got the quote here. He says, Alcaraz said if he keeps playing at this level, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see him around more often. I'm just really happy to get through. I don't want to say I was surprised, but it was the first time I was playing against him. He just beat Jarry very easily, so that's impressive. And I had to be focused on my best. Welcome back. Yes. Yeah, we've just started this third set, remarkable match where Wu has somehow managed to get back into it by taking the second set in a tiebreak. But after Medvedev was serving for the set, I mean, he was serving to make it 6-4, serving to take the match, but somehow Wu breaks back. I mean, it was actually a Medvedev double fault that handed that break back, and it was also only the second break point that Wu had in the whole match, and it'd come in that game. And yeah, it's definitely a bit of a wobble from Medvedev, but credit has to be given to Wu for sort of fighting in that second set when, perhaps it looked like the game was maybe gone. As I said, Medvedev had opportunities to go up a double break, and then things would have been pretty much over. But no, Wu stuck in and held on, and he's got his rewards here. So started off now in this final set with a hold for Medvedev. He got to 40-15, and he's just hit a good serve there. So good way for the Russian to start off this deciding set, but yeah, that might not be straightforward at all, though. Elsewhere in Chengdu, in the quarterfinal match between Daniil and Shevchenko, it is the player representing Kazakhstan who won the first set in the tiebreak 7-2. But Daniil has started serving in that second set. So, yeah, I'd imagine still some way to go in that match. Those of you who are still joining, it'd be good if you could hit like or subscribe if you haven't done so already. Getting close to 5,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can hit that mark soon. And that's a good point to start off from Wu Yibing. Good aggression, good after a good first serve. Bringing an error from Daniil Medvedev, and it's 15-love. Second serve now for Wu. And yeah, another extended rally there after that second serve, and that was the backhand error from Medvedev. Backhand going long, so yes, so Wu could really do with getting through his games a bit, service games a bit quicker. It wasn't always the case in this match, but yeah, that's good aggression there from Wu, and a forehand error into the net from Medvedev. 40-love. Looks like he is going to hold on here in his first service game of the deciding set. Yeah, good serve down the tee from the Chinese player that is returned into the net. 1-all. And this, if Wu was able to come back, I mean, still quite a long way to go. But if he was able to come back and win this match, then surely got to go down as one of, if not the most remarkable victories of his career. Although I say one of, but he, of course, that week in Dallas was tremendous for him. Good return there from Wu. Forehand, cross court, yes, and that was a good angle, short angle there from Wu. And Medvedev puts his shot into the net. It's love 15. And it's amazing how it now feels like the momentum is with Wu, and crowd really getting excited, backing him. Serve now from Medvedev. Out wide, it was way wide. Second serve it will now be. Second serve is in. It's returned by Wu. Slice backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Another slice backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. And wow! Wu goes huge with that forehand up the line. I'm surprised it landed in the court. But it does. It lands right in the corner on the line, and love 30 here in the Medvedev serve. Good serve, though, down the middle from Medvedev, and he comes forward to finish at the net. And yeah, that's good enough, and it's 15-30. But Medvedev got to be feeling some pressure here. Let's see if he can stay composed, though. Wow, that was a serve way long from Medvedev, and it's going to be a second serve. It is in. It's returned by Wu. Forehand now from Medvedev. Big backhand cross court from Wu. Wu trying to use his aggression. Backhand cross-court, backhand from Medvedev, backhand from Medvedev, forehand from Wu, backhand from Medvedev, forehand from Wu, backhand from Medvedev, cross-court. Wu hits his cross-court backhand into the net, and it is 30-all. We'll be really hoping to create another breakpoint opportunity here. Keep that pressure and momentum going. Serve from Medvedev down the tee. It is returned well, though, by Wu. Forehand now from Wu deep. Backhand returned by Medvedev. Good forehand from Wu. He comes into the net. Is it going to be good enough? He does get there. And yes, it is enough to win the point, and it's 30-40. But somehow Wu coming on top. It wasn't the cleanest point there, but 30-40, he gets rewarded for his bravery, taking a chance and coming forward. Another break point. Third of the match for Wu. That's a good serve, though. It's returned long, so good response from Medvedev to take it to deuce. And yeah, he can certainly hit these streaks where he's banging those first serves in. He could do with that right now, Medvedev. Yeah, big serve ace down the tee. And that's just what the doctor ordered for Medvedev. Yeah, it's looking like it could have been so simple. So simple a match for Medvedev, and it's turned into a right battle here. But another good serve to take it to 2-1, and really what he needed at this moment in time. Yeah, so really exciting now. Not sure which way it's going to go. I'm surprised somewhat that we're at this stage, given how the match was going earlier, but here you go, and credit to Yibing. We're on serve, though, in this final set, 2-1 to Medvedev. Elsewhere in Chengdu, Daniil down a set, Shevchenko taking it 7-6, but we're on serve early in the second set. Daniil up 1-love, but what else happened elsewhere? We had the Seoul WTA Korea Open. The final was played today between Iga Swiatek and Ekaterina Alexandrova, and it was Iga Swiatek, the world number 2, coming out on top. But it wasn't straightforward. She was down 6-1 in the first set. Alexandrova, the Russian, taking that first set. But the Pole came back, took the second set 7-5, and then a final set tiebreak. So ended up being quite an exciting final for the fans of that Seoul tournament, WTA 500 level tournament, and first Korea Open title for Iga Swiatek, and the first champion on the ATP or WTA tours for this Asia swing. And the Asian swing continues now, though, is in this quarterfinal match between Wu and Medvedev, and it's now the Chinese player to serve. Serve is in. Somehow that return lands in for Medvedev. And yeah, Medvedev gets the opportunity to the approach, and Wu makes the error into the net, so it's love 15. Serve from Wu down the tee. It is returned by Medvedev, but good aggression here from Wu. Forehand cross court. Forehand goes long from Medvedev. And it's 15-all. Serve out wide from Wu. Unreturned. So it's 30-15. Serve from Wu out wide. It's returned well by Medvedev. Going backhand to backhand here. Backhand from Wu goes into the net though, and that is 30-all. Serve from Wu. Way long. Going to be a second serve then. Taking time with his second serve here, Wu. It is in, returned by Medvedev. Backhand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Forehand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Backhand long from Wu. 30-40, and it's another break point. Now a break point for Medvedev. Out. Second serve. Second serve in from Wu. And great forehand down the line from Wu, but it keeps coming back. Oh, it's a backhand drop shot from Medvedev, and Wu managed to sprint and gets there, and he finishes it off. And yeah, it's juice. And those drop shots haven't been working too well for Medvedev. So juice here, and a bit of pressure for Wu, but it'd be good. Let's see if we can come out on top. He's had a number of service games where he's managed to come through after a bit of pressure. Let's see if he can do it here again. Good serve down the tee. And that is advantage Wu. Another good serve from Wu. Big forehand. And that's a tremendous winner and a great hold from the Hangzhou native. 2 games all. Pressure. Right back on you, Medvedev. And if you're joining, please hit like and subscribe. Do with your subscriptions. Almost at 5,000 subscribers. And yeah, Medvedev to serve here. Good serve though to start off. Ace down the tee.
14th ace of the match that was for Medvedev. Another ace down the tee. Make that 15. Another ace out, this time out wide. On the juice court. Yeah, 40 love. Another good serve, and its return goes long. So a very simple hold there for Medvedev, and that's just probably what he needed. Just going to joining you a bit late after that break, but glad to be back. And yeah, that was a tremendous hold from Wu. Some tremendous play, very deep hitting, aggressive play, and really a high level that Wu is now bringing. And this is going to be a tough one for Medvedev if he's going to get the job done. But perhaps Wu has the chance for the remarkable comeback. 15-love to Medvedev, but he will now serve on the ad side. Serve out wide, goes out. So second serve it will be. Good return from Wu. Oh, his ball goes deep there. Backhand up the line from Wu. That was tremendous. That winner must have been right on the line to bring it 15-all. Oh, I want to see that replay. I mean, that was a tremendous shot. The double hander up the line. Yeah, just catches the edge of the line. And second serve now at 15-all for Medvedev. And that's a great forehand winner from Wu. It is 15-30. Another first serve error, fault from Medvedev. So second serve, 15-30. It is returned by Wu. Wu goes big again with a forehand, but getting a little bit carried away that time. That one was far out. 30-all. I think Wu sensing an opportunity here. 30-all though. Which way is it gonna go? Serve down the tee is out from Medvedev. Second serve now at 30-all. Second serve. Oh, into the net. And that's a double fault. 30-40. Wu Yibing will have another breakpoint opportunity, and that's pressure, perhaps telling for Medvedev. He hit a double fault when serving for the match. I mean, at breakpoint, he handed the break back to Wu. That's a good first serve there for Medvedev. The return from Wu going into the net, and it's back to deuce. Serve for Medvedev out wide in the rally. Big forehand again. He was trying to go inside out cross court. Wu, and it's wide, and it's an advantage to Daniil Medvedev. Again, similarly, Wu going big but making the error. But let's see if he can hold on here. Medvedev to serve. Good serve, but somehow it is returned by Wu. Wu goes big with that huge jumping backhand cross-court winner, and that was tremendous. What a shot from Wu Yibing. Boom! Sends that backhand cross-court beautifully. Not always easy to hit a winner past Medvedev, but he's doing it now. Serve in from Medvedev. Oh, and it was returned. And Medvedev hits the backhand tamely into the net, and it is advantage Wu and a break point.
This is tremendous. 5th break point opportunity for Wu Yibing. Oh, good response from Medvedev as he sends that a beautiful first serve out wide that Wu simply can't return, and juice. Bit pressure here for the former world number 1 Medvedev. Great opportunity for Wu Yibing in front of his home fans. First serve down the middle. Oh, we're in a bit of an extended rally here, and there's a forehand. Oh, it goes deep. It just lands in from Medvedev. Backhand now from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Big forehand from Wu. Backhand from Medvedev. Forehand from Wu. And it's a forehand from Wu. And it's enough to bring the error from Medvedev. Another break point opportunity. Advantage Wu. Serve returned well by Wu, and he has an opportunity to come forward, and he hits the forehand winner. Back in behind Medvedev, and that is a break. He holds his ear to the crowd, and they absolutely love it. They're giving him great backing. Wu Yibing now leads 4-3 with the break in this deciding set. Can he hold? He's going to come out and serve. And if he does hold, he'll be 1 game away from taking the match. But what a turnaround this has been. I mean, at some point, I really thought this was Medvedev. He was going to get it wrapped up in 2 sets. It was looking very simple. Second set, you know, he went up a break early, Medvedev, and then he had an opportunity to go up a double break. It didn't happen. And, you know, Wu is still down a break, but he kept, you know, plugging away, and credit has to go to him for doing that. But then eventually got his opportunity. I think, yeah, of course, Medvedev serving for the match, and he did have a wobble, right? And yeah, Medvedev struggled. I mean, obviously, a double fault at that key moment in the match. And yeah, Wu finds himself now up a break in this final set, and it's going to be interesting now. Interesting to see what happens now. And yeah, Medvedev is, you know, he's some way off, you know, that form of when he was world number 1 and when he won the US Open and when he was at, you know, the top of the game, within that top 5, the top 3 even. And yeah, new coach for him here, but this is really not the way he wanted this match to go. And huge opportunity for Wu Yibing as he comes out to serve. Serve is in. It's returned by Medvedev, and we get into a bit of a rally. Oh, Wu going big up the line with the forehand. He's being very aggressive, but the ball keeps coming back from Medvedev. Medvedev going aggressive for himself, and he eventually goes back, comes up the line. That was tremendous from Medvedev, how he managed to get on top in that rally, because Wu was being very aggressive. And eventually he was the one who was able to take control. Yeah, so love 15. Serve wide from Wu Yibing. Second serve now. It is in. Oh, the backhand uncharacteristically going long, the backhand up the line from Medvedev. You know, that's really not the kind of shot you expect him to miss. And 15 all here. Didn't think this stream would be going for over 3 hours. But here we are. First serve from Wu. Oh, that was a great 1-2. The follow-up forehand up the line there from Wu was tremendous. What power. And yeah, not many players can hit through the court like that and give Medvedev not even a chance to get the ball back. But Wu is one of those players, and he's bringing some of his best shots now in this final set. Second serve from Wu. Returned long by Daniil Medvedev. And it's 40-15, 2 game points for Wu. And I really thought if Wu was going to win this match, then he would need to win the first set. But what do I know? And that is a great serve down the tee from Wu to take it to 5-3, and he's just one game away from the match now. Medvedev now, of course, to serve. Okay, Medvedev to serve. Good serve, though, down the tee. And yeah, he follows it up with a good backhand and then comes forward to the net and a lovely touch volley. Nice point to start off there for Medvedev, 15 love. Serve from Medvedev. Somehow it's returned by Wu. Oh, and yeah, Medvedev hits that forehand. It's just enough, and it's 30 love. And it looks like he's responding with one of his quick holds, as we know he can do. Oh, the serve out wide. Wu going big on the return, but it goes out. 40 love. So it looks like it's a quick hold here for Daniil Medvedev. And yeah, just really what he needed, but he could have done with that in his previous service game. But that first serve going out, but good second serve from Medvedev, and enough for him to follow up with a good forehand cross-court winner. And it is 5-4 for Yibing. He will now serve for the match. Huge moment for Yibing. Of course, yeah, Daniil Medvedev is the former world #1, currently now ranked 18th in the world. But for Wu, for him to get a top 20 win would be very, very good. And especially, you know, not too far since coming back. It's been a few months now, but yeah, it's going to be a great moment for him if he can get it done. But we'll have to see how he does. Now a medical timeout for Medvedev at this crucial moment. Earlier in the second set, it was Wu Yibing who took a medical timeout. He had to get massage for his shoulder. He seems to have overcome that somewhat just now. I mean, but now it's Medvedev getting
something on his treatment for his arm, or perhaps he's just wanting a bit of a breather before this final service game, or perhaps final service game for Yibing, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, so medical timeout for Medvedev. So it'll be another 2.5 minutes of medical treatment for Medvedev before Wu comes out to serve for the match. Yeah, so Wu Yibing, of course, is China's first ATP champion. He won that title in Dallas 2 years ago. And I imagine it's been quite some time. I don't know if but was that perhaps the last time that he'd been in a semi-final? Because, of course, if he does win this match, he will be through to the semi-finals. But of course, he's won on the Challenger Tour this year, but this is the ATP Tour level. And yeah, just to be in trouble for Wu, in the last few years with injuries, since winning that first title. But yeah, that was in Dallas in February 2023. Wu beat Michael Moe, Denis Shapovalov, Adrian Manarino, Taylor Fritz, and John Isner. Quite a good run there, for a 250. Tremendous final that he won. And that was the last time that he'd even been in a semi-final, never mind win the title. So, yeah, of course, he's had tremendous, a lot of time out with injuries, but let's see if he's able to get the job done now as the medical timeout is about to come to an end. So now you had the players come out to finish it off. Wu Yibing, he's here. And with new balls as well for Wu. So, yeah, tremendous serve down the tee to bring it to 15 love. That's an ace. And this could be 30 love. Let's see. Serve goes long. The second serve it will be. And we are in a bit of a rally. Backhand from Wu is deep, and that brings the error from Medvedev, and it's 30 love. The crowd are loving this. Just 2 more points will get Wu the match. Serve from Wu out wide, but it's wide, and he will have a second serve. Second serve is then returned by Medvedev. Forehand from Medvedev. Backhand cross court from Wu. Backhand up the line is into the net from Wu, and that is 30-15. Yeah, so now Wu to serve. Good serve, first serve. Good aggression from Wu. Big forehand. Brings the error from Medvedev, and he has 40-15, 2 match points for the Chinese player. Huge moment for the Chinese player. Now currently ranked 196, about to get the victory over the former world number 1 and current number 18, 25-year-old Wu. Wu to serve. Goes into the net, though. It'll be a second serve. Return from Medvedev. Oh, it's the backhand error there from Wu, but he's still another match point here at 40-30. Is he going to take it? It looks like he will. Match point number 2. Let's see how it goes, though. Tremendous serve out wide. It's unreturned, and that is a huge victory for Wu. He puts his hands to his face. The crowd go wild. Hangzhou native Wu Yibing is through to the semi-finals of the Hangzhou Open. Incredible performance, incredible, powerful baseline hitting from the Chinese player, who comes back to win 5-7, 7-6, 6-4, he says. Yeah, and especially after all his injuries and issues that he's had, Wu to come back, it's a tremendous moment for him. Medvedev, yeah, sure, he wobbled in that second set and gave him opportunity to come back, but credit has to go to Wu. I mean, he had opportunities in the first set. I thought maybe to get chances in, 7-5 for Medvedev, but Medvedev played well in that Wu played well in that first set, but it was some of the moments he had to create a break point. He didn't execute well. I mean, there was one backhand in particular that it was a big moment that he should have made, and normally he was doing those so well. But then in the second set, Medvedev goes up an early break, and you're thinking, well, this is going to be Medvedev's day, and he's going to get it done in straight sets. But then Wu just manages to stay, hang in there. I mean, we had a couple of medical timeouts. Wu had a medical timeout for his shoulder. It didn't look great, but he just kept plugging away. And then when it came for Wu, his opportunity, he took it when Medvedev was serving for the second set at 5-4. And then, eventually, it was only the second break point of the match that Wu managed to take it. Double fault from Medvedev. And eventually Wu wins the tiebreak, and that wasn't particularly straightforward, but he does get it done. 7-5 in that tiebreak. And then, just sort of raised his level really in this final set, and he was able to get a break, and eventually it's a victory now. 6-4 in the third for Wu Yibing, and it's just a huge moment for him because his first semi-final at ATP level since making that title win in Dallas 2 years ago. yeah, Wu getting interviewed on court right now, but obviously it's a great moment for him, you know, in front of his home fans. And yeah, this is big now because Wu will go on to the final after that victory. And he will have to play the winner of Sivert and Bublik. So we still don't know who's going to face in the final, but whoever it's going to be, it's going to be a player that he'll fancy his chances against. So yeah, perhaps we'll be doing a live stream for that. That will be on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time it will be on, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, time permitting, we could do a live stream. But thank you, everyone, for joining for this live stream. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And yeah, it was a tremendous victory. Bad day for Medvedev. One he'll hope to forget, but a great victory for Wu Yibing. And I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you very much.